Hey guys, welcome back to another interesting video. In this video, we are going to use AI tool during our penetration testing process. Okay, I've been using the Metasploit 2 as a test mission here, and you can just use any other mission that you want. In this video, we are using AI tool in the browser, not in the terminal, but in the browser. So let's see how we can use AI. In this video, I will explain how we can use AI properly. Lots of people, still the beginners, doesn't know how to use AI properly. They are not giving proper prompts. So that's the reason they are not getting the proper output. So in this video, I'm going to explain all those things. So make sure to watch this video till the end and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video if you like it. Okay, let's begin. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to do everything using AI, but we are including AI in this penetration testing process. We'll be using our own skills and then AI skills and what AI can give to us during our penetration testing process. First thing that I'm going to use is the ARP scan for finding the IP address of the target mission, because in this process I started the Metasploit 2 as my target mission. So I'm not able to find that mission. Let me check if everything is working properly. Here I got an error. So let me correct that out. Let me scan this again and still no IP. So scanning it again, no IP, scanning it again. Again, I could not be able to get an IP address, so I have to do something here. So I'm going to the network. Oh, it's in internal network, so that's the error. So let me first close this and put it into the bridged adapter. Okay, let it start. In the meantime, let's explore the AI tool. So I'm been using the ChatGPT AI tool. So we are going to ask ChatGPT, hey, I want to perform a pen testing. So when I ask AI tool, in this case we are using the ChatGPT AI tool. So I asked AI tool I want to perform a penetration testing, right? You can call it as pen testing, right? It's a good instinct, but perform a pen test is too broad to be useful. The difference between a beginner poking around a real penetration tester or pen tester is structure. Like first you have to decide your target. Like in this case we are going to use the Metasploit 2, right? So you can also use DVWA, OWASP shop for web related contents. So yeah, all my previous stats and all those things are available here. So never mind that as of now. So the real penetration testing or pen testing workflow would include the Nmap, and this is the Nmap tool usage that they are providing. And to find vulnerabilities using Nmap, you can just use this command like that. To find vulnerabilities in website, for web it is providing the Nicto tool. So the results that is shown in my computer or in my AI tool that you're seeing right now will not be the exact result that you are seeing in your computer if you ask the same question. It differs. AI is improving every day. AI will give you different outputs for the same prompt sometimes. So that's something to keep in mind. Never worry if you're not getting this much of replies. So these replies are based on my previous interaction with this AI tool. So if you are not interacting it properly, then you won't be able to get all those things that you seen here. Okay, if it's WordPress, you can use the WP scan tool, and how we can use this tool, the syntax and all those things are demonstrated here by this AI tool called ChatGPT, right? So you know how to use AI tool, but you don't know how to use properly the ChatGPT or any other AI tool. In this video, we are only focusing the ChatGPT, and the first thing that I want to mention right now is this one. Like ChatGPT can make mistakes, so this is something that most beginners doesn't read. So yeah, you have to understand that the outputs that you're getting from AI tools may accurate or may not be accurate. Sometimes you get something wrong and you are like in a rabbit hole and you won't be able to solve the challenge or perform a proper penetration testing. So if you have some proper knowledge of penetration testing, then you can use AI tool for further increasing your knowledge. But if you don't have any single knowledge of penetration testing, then I won't recommend learning only from AI. But AI really helps. AI can help you to teach you a lot of concepts and a lot of things, but first learn something from somewhere or from my channel or wherever you would like to learn. So I have a dedicated video that helps you to learn a lot about things like if you're a too beginner, then oh my god, let me close all those useless tabs right now. Okay, so I have our channel. In our channel you have the option to the playlist. In the playlist we have a dedicated playlist for learn ethical hacking from zero to hero. Here it is. You can just watch this video for and entirely this playlist get up to date, and new topics get added, and you can just perform all those tasks that I'm showing in this video, so that you will have better understanding of various tools and various things that you have to use in daily life. Okay, so I think this was started right now. So now let's perform the ARP scan. And now you can see the MAC address starting with the 08 will be our target IP address in the virtual box. I got my target IP address. Now I'm just performing an Nmap scan with the service version enabled. So here Nmap is a network mapper tool, and this is my target IP. I used -SV at the end. You can just use -SV at the beginning or end, or wherever you would like to use. So these are some of the basics that as an ethical hacker or a beginner should definitely need to know how to use these kinds of things. So that is why I highly recommend you to go to my playlist. If you don't know this, go to my playlist and watch the entire video and understand the concepts, and come and use AI tools for improving your knowledge and improving your pen testing methodologies. And because AI tools can provide you a lot of things that you don't know before, and if you don't know some concepts, AI can help you to understand those concepts. If you have a little knowledge of that particular thing, then it's a plus point, because you know how to use. If AI makes mistakes, then you know how to correct those mistakes. So that's what I am recommending you to have some basic understanding. If you are going to perform penetration testing, never always rely completely 100% of using AI. So you can use AI like not 100%. Like if you get a result, you are just copying and pasting everything into AI and asking for that. I'm not suggesting that, but I will suggest you, if you have any doubts, ask AI. And if you have to move to that particular directory, or if you want to find the syntax of a particular command, if you want to know some tool names for pen testing, some services, etc., you can just use AI tools. That is highly helpful for you. Okay, so anyways, in this case, this is the output that we were able to get, right? So here you have the various ports open from 21 to 8180. These are the ports open, and 977 ports are closed in this case. Okay, we have some information, right? So I'm just copying this only, the first line only in the AI tool, and I'm just asking AI tool, is there any issues? So yes, this is not just an issue, it is one of the most famous intentionally vulnerable service. So here AI identifies the vulnerability. The VSFTPD 2.3.4 has a backdoor. This version is known to contain a backdoor that was maliciously added to the source code. And you have the entity for reference. You can just click here for the reference page here, and you can see the CVE ID, the common vulnerabilities and exposures ID, which was released in 2011, and all those things are available there, right? So you have the information about what the actual problem is. If a username contains these, the service silently opens a backdoor shell on port 6200. So this means remote command execution without authentication. So how exploitation works conceptually? So you can see connect to FTP, enter a username like a user test, a service triggers backdoor, a shell opens on port 6200. So you can just use for exploitation, you can just use the Metasploit. In this case, you have the complete how you can start the Metasploit, how you can search for this vulnerability, what are the things that you need to use in Metasploit. All those things are demonstrated. If you don't know anything about this, then still you can ask questions and understand those concepts. But I highly recommend you to have some basic knowledge and basic skills If you don't have that, then it might be a little bit tougher to understand the concepts, but still you can just give proper prompts and get a lot of results, get what you want. But still, I highly recommend you to have some skills. So if you have some skills and basic knowledge, then you understand what it means. Like, it is asking you to start the Metasploit and search the VSFTPD and use this particular exploit. You can just skip the search VSFTPD step if you are a beginner or an intermediate, then you know that, right? So you have to set the R host, which is our target IP, just IP of our target mission, and once you run that, you will get a shell instantly. So what you should say in a report. So in a report, if you want to create a report after this particular penetration testing, you can just name this as VSFTPD 2.3.4 backdoor, and the severity of this vulnerability is critical, and the impact, the recommendation, and all those things. Right, so you have what should you do next. So you can just perform all port scanning using the -p minus, and some of the other things are demonstrated here, right? So how dangerous supply chain attacks and all those things. So in this case, what we are going to do, as we know that this particular version has vulnerability, so that's the reason I just put that here. But in some scenarios, if you are pen testing, you don't know if a version, the latest version, has a vulnerability existed. So this is a known vulnerability for years, but if you don't know, then what you can do is to just copy and paste the entire results, and you can just paste that out. So, or else you can just use the nmaps output in normal format, like -on, into a file called any file that you would like to use. So I'm just creating this as out, so it will the output will be moved to the file out. All those results that we seen here will move to a file called out. So that's what we use the -on to output into normal format. When I get that out file, this is what you see. When I open that out file here, it will open in the mousepad, and this is the scan results. So now I can just paste this in AI tool, and I'm just saying, if I'm a beginner, what should I say? Like this is the scan results. So now this is a proper pen test target, and your scan is actually very good. So you get that command. After that, the first impression, what a pro sees instantly: this box is outdated, service everywhere, multiple remote entry points, weak internal security. You have at least 6 to 8 different ways to get root access, right? So high value target. So these are the informations that you were able to get, right, by copying and pasting everything in the AI tool. But I highly recommend not to do this if you know something. So you can, if you don't know, then you can just copy and paste like this to get some more information. It's good, sometimes it's good. So you can see we have the port 1524 already a root shell, and this is an open bind shell, metasploitable root shell. This is not even a vulnerability, it's a gift. You have the option to try this using the Netcat. You should directly get root access. If this works, you already on the mission. Let's try this out. The results that are provided by AI tool. And here it is, guys. It's so cool, right? So 1524 for the bind shell, the metasploitable root shell. So now we have the root shell, we have all the files inside that. That's crazy cool, right? So AI can understand your outputs, and AI can properly reply to you, but sometimes it will make mistakes, and you have to validate every output provided by the AI tool. Whatever tool that you're using, like ChatGPT, Cloud, or Gemini, or whatever tool that you're using, doesn't matter, but the output, you have to verify the output before you putting that out. So never always trust every output that you're getting from AI, but AI is really helpful, but it can make mistakes, as you can see from here, right? So that's something that you should keep in mind. So it will definitely assist you to give more information that you doesn't know before. It will give you, like you can see The first way that you can just get root access is to use the metasploitable, and the second way that it was able to find is by using this port 1524, and using the Netcat tool we were able to get root access, right? So the third thing that we were able to find is by using SMB, right? So SMB is Samba, so using the SMB client or using tools like Enum for Linux to find anonymous access or password leaks or exploits. So this is a possible way of performing a penetration testing in a legal environment, right? So if you have permission, then you can just test that, but if you don't have permission, then you are not allowed to test that. Okay, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. It's not good to test a something that you don't have permission. Okay, so yeah, so now we have the port 80. In the port 80 you will find the DVWA, mutility, and other vulnerable apps. This is perfect for learning SQL injection, XSS, which is the cross-site scripting, and file upload attacks. So these are some of the results, right? So, and we also have the Pro FTPD 1.3.1, which is on port 2121, which has a known vulnerability existed. And let's search for that to see if AI is telling you the truth. Let's search here, and unfortunately no results came, so you have to eliminate the 1.3.1. now I have some information like 1.3.5 has something, not 1.3.1 doesn't have the vulnerability existed in the search exploit. So let's search for the Pro FTPD 1.3.1 online for the exploits. Okay, now we can see we have 1.3.5 from the Pro FTPD, which has the vulnerability existed in the Rapid 7, and an SQL injection vulnerability for Pro FTPD 1.3, and which is available in the, here it is, Pro FTPD 1.3.1, so which is available in the search exploit, right? But 1.3.1 I won't be able to find, but it was able to find from here in the exploit database. It's 32789. So let's see if we have 32789 or something like that. Was not shown here. I think you have to update this to get some more information. Maybe that's the reason, I don't know. So anyways, so we were able to get this, right? So the other things that we were able to get from the scan results is the MySQL. Then you can just use no password, or sometimes you will be able to access that without a password, or it might be some kind of weak credentials in it in the MySQL. Let's use this. Here we got an error. So if we get an error, if you don't know how to solve that out, then you can also use AI tools for that, right? So other than that, we also have the Unreal RCD and Tomcat and all those things, and what should you do next, step-by-step procedures are there. Check for these and exploit using VSFTPD, open website in browser, and you can also use the enum for Linux for shares enumerating and a lot of other things. So here I'm just pasting this, and how can I solve this error? So if you paste this without providing a proper prompt, then you might not get what you really want. So I provided the prompt, how can I solve this error? Some people doesn't provide any prompts. They just copy and paste things into AI. Sometimes they will get what they want, but not always. Okay, so here you can see the proper explanation. What's happening, you are connecting from a modern MySQL client to an older server. Yes, Metasploitable 2 is really old. So you have to use these, force the MySQL to not to use the SSL. You can just try this, right? And here now you have the access, right? So that's cool, right? Now I am just asking to show databases. Now I have the information. I have some of the databases available, right? So this is how you can just use AI tools for solving your errors. By giving the proper prompts, you will get what you really want, right? So if you don't give proper prompts to AI tools, then you won't be able to use AI properly, right? So in this era, we have to know how to use AI, not just using it for basic usages, but you have to use AI better than others to stand out right now in this era. right? We were able to solve this so easily, right? So these are some of the easier concepts that I'm talking right now. So as I found from my students, I've been an tutor right now. So from my students, they don't know how to use AI. How they just created some of those things like what we've seen from reels. They are just creating things like photos and all those things using AI. They know how to create the AI photos or something like that, but they don't know how to use AI tool properly, how to give proper prompts, or what are the things that AI can do it for you. So yeah, there are some peoples existed still. So that's the reason I've been explaining all those things to you. Maybe you know how to use AI and how what it is. All of those things that I'm explaining right now was known to you, but sometimes there are some peoples still doesn't know. So that's the reason I've been explaining that also here, right? So it also give you a suggestion that if this doesn't work, you can just use this. Let's try this also to see what will be the result. So this doesn't work, guys. So the previous comment worked, right? So you don't have to worry about that, but we just tested that, right? So this is how you can just use AI, right? Why this works. Old MySQL, no proper TLS. So you do get proper explanation of what it is, what the error is, how can you solve this, and if that doesn't work, you do have some newer thing which doesn't work right now, but they will provide you because this is an AI tool. It can make mistakes. It will give you the results, the outputs based on what you give to them. Okay, so there is an important note to read in real world pen testing. This tells you outdated database server, no encryption in transit, credentials can be sniffed using the man in the middle risk. So there is a valid finding for your report. So these are the things that you were able to find from here, right? So now you have all the informations to become root user. But in this case, we have different phases of ethical hacking, right? So if you are not a beginner, if you watch all my videos, then you know that phases like reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, clearing tracks, and all those things. And finally, we will be doing the reporting, right? So I'm just asking AI tool, can you create a report for this pen testing? So the pen testing actually was so easier. We were able to become a root so easier because this is highly or intentionally vulnerable VM that we pen test right now. So that's why it was able to solve. You will be able to become root so easier, right? So you can also use some other methods that is demonstrated by this AI tool. I'm also going to show you that. But this is how AI generated the report, right? You do have execute summary and the scope and the methodology, like the phases, right? So reconnaissance, enumeration, vulnerability analysis, exploitation, post exploitation, and some of the open ports and the severity of these vulnerabilities in these particular open ports, right? And the detailed findings. So how we can exploit this is some of the POC, the proof of concepts. So the description and the version and the service and the software and the severity, right? You were able to find a lot of things from the report itself here. You don't need to think like if you don't know how to create a report, then you can just easily create a like this, right? So open root shell on port 1524, you were able to become root by using this method, right? And you do have some other backdoors available in this to become root. So now you have everything that you want to become root user in this mission, because this is a mission highly vulnerable that is helping you to learn ethical hacking, right? So yeah, this is the beginner level mission, right? So you have some other information like Samba, which is the SMB service may allow unauthorized access to shared resource. Let's try this to see if it works. Okay, now we have some of the share names available here, and it is also saying you the enum for Linux tool. It is not providing any flags, but still you can see you were able to get some more information, right? This is interesting, right? You can just have some basic knowledge and you were able to get a lot of other understanding from using AI tools. But the best part and the hard part for some peoples is to read and understand the concepts that is provided by the AI tool. So some people are weak in English, they don't understand, they have to learn English a little bit more and understand that and use this and read this and understand. So yeah, basically what I mean is some people doesn't know how to read that properly, how to understand the concepts or the things that is the output of AI. So from here you can see vulnerable web applications, the service, the port, the severity. So they don't know about this because they don't have some basic skills, like they don't know what a severity means, what a port is. So that is why I highly recommend you to have some basic understanding and basic knowledge before you dive into this, because you have to know what is a service or what is a port, what is a severity. If you don't know that, if you are here, then you have to enter multiple times of prompts to get a level of understanding. So yeah, the basic knowledge and all those things is highly important. Okay, so some people think that they can become a pro using only AI, but I don't think so. But maybe you can, but still you have to give a lot of prompts. But you do have some basic understanding and basic knowledge, so that's what I highly recommend you to have, guys. So this is my personal opinion. So your opinion or your skills may be different. You can do whatever you would like to do, but this is my only personal opinion. So in the conclusion, you can see the target system is highly vulnerable and can be compromised through multiple attack vectors with minimal efforts. And the key takeaway and all those things are available. Right. So we've been using AI tool for finding a lot of things, right? So yeah, now let's start with the first one. Like we'll be going to use this exploit. We have to use this in the Metasploit framework. So if you don't know what is a Metasploit framework, then you have to search for that again, right? So if you have those basic understanding, then you can just do like what I'm going to do right now. So I've been starting the Metasploitable to, the Metasploit framework, and using this exploit, and I have to set the options like the target host and run. This is my target IP and run. Now I have to set the L host is what is shown here. So if you get an error, you can just search for options and let's inspect these. And L host is the listen address, which is our address. So I am just setting the L host as my Ethernet 0 and just running that, and here it is. So if you don't know that, still what you going to do is to still copy and paste that in AI tool and getting the results and understanding the concept. So that is why it is highly recommended not to copy and paste everything in the AI tool, but to do the things that you don't know. This is only my personal opinion. Okay, so yeah, you are able to gain access. You have the meterpreter access in this mission. Now you can see the files inside this, and now you can just enter the move to shell rule. So now I'm shell, I'm giving bin bash -i, and now, oh, I just made mistake. Now you can see I'm root, already root. So now I don't want to do anything. I can just move to the root directory. And now there is no flag as of now available. So yeah, if you are doing CTF scenarios, you do have some flags which will be available in the root directory. Right, so in this video, what you learned is about using AI tools, how we can use AI tools. Not these videos, I doesn't talk to you in deep about how you can use these things, but a little bit of things as a beginner you have to know about AI tool. If I include everything, the video will be so larger and it might be difficult for you to understand. It might be boring sometimes for you to watch the video, the long videos. Based on my findings, I am able to find that a lot of people doesn't like to watch a long videos, so that's the reason I've been teaching this. If you want the part 2 of this video, then don't forget to comment down below, guys. So in this video you learned about how we can just use AI tool and how we can just create a report, how we can just use this, how we can analyze this results, and how we can use those tools. And if you have those basic understandings, then you can just use these to do the pen testing, right? So that's cool, right? So this is just the beginning, guys. If you want more, then don't forget to comment down below, guys. Until then, guys, bye bye. I will see you guys in the next one.